The worst horror movie I ever saw was fucking great.
Hello and welcome to This May Hurt a Bit. My name is James Strayer and this is
John C. Myers.
And we're a horror franchise podcast discussing each film in horror franchises. And today we will be discussing Return of the Fly from 1959. So this one is actually in black and white.
Yes.
This is where a lot of people get a little bit confused, as we were talking about in the previous one. Instead of that beautiful Technicolor of last time, budgets are slashed when you see success, scripts are slashed, and color is slashed in the 1950s. So down to black and white with this one.
Yeah, they were just cashing in.
Yeah. Yeah. 1958 for the first one, 1959 for this one.
Yeah, they rushed right in. They kept them at Fox so they could use all these sets because they were like, please write a script that uses all these sets so we don't have to spend more money. Look, that did well for us and people enjoyed it. It got some praise, but we don't want to be a studio known for horror pictures, do we?
Yeah.
Come on, that's lowbrow stuff. So we'll do it, but just
right. Yeah. Yes. Please write a script. Vincent Price signed on for it after the first draft, and then there were more drafts to reduce the budget. And then the rest of the script basically has Vincent Price in bed for most of it. Good work if you can get it. Right. However, probably not what he was anticipating at the time.
Not that stoked about it. Yeah, he ended up getting rather peeved about it. Understandably, because it's like, well, okay, you hired me to work and I would like to work. No, you're going to just cut all my scenes.
Still got $25,000 to lay in bed.
Yeah.
Again, good work if you can get it. But, nary a cool red vest to be found.
I think that was probably his big issue.
Right.
Is that the wardrobe was awful.
Keeping with the lower budget, they got quite the journeyman director here. Kurt Newman, who directed the previous one, unfortunately died pretty quickly after that. Yeah,
there's some rumors it was suicide, but they say no, it was a long illness.
They brought in Edward L. Burns, who was you could definitely call him a journeyman director. He directed a lot of westerns. He did stuff like High School Hellcats, which sounds like a Mystery Science Theater episode to me.
Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of them, like Space Master X7, Queen of Outer Space.
Fantastic stuff. And then late in his career, tons of Three Stooges episodes.
Yes.
So this man knew how to get the job done. And that's probably, again, what Fox was just looking for here.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of like, what if we had a character hit another character here? I think that would get us, that would raise the dramatic tension of the scene.
What if
the fly poked him in his
but he blocks it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the claw he gets can block any oncoming poke. So they don't know how to beat him.
Right. So yeah, it was he just took on the job, and while I still enjoyed watching this movie, it does play very much more like a 1950s rampaging monster movie than it does the first film, which I think we both agreed had like a little bit of dark pathos to it, a lot of sadness to it.
Yeah, it's a Greek tragedy kind of thing of a man who, like, through his own hubris and his ire, like, crushes his own life, loses his own humanity. In that process, you spent on that. This is just like, what if you knew a British guy that sucked?
Yes, right. And don't we all?
Yeah.
But no, it is very much a man turns into fly. You know, we know this story. Man turns into fly and then rampages around the town.
The other classic Greek tragedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the first one opens up with this Technicolor, you kind of have that screen in the background with the titles. And this is just a blurry fly on gray poster board.
Right. Yeah.
Not even 4 flies on gray velvet. One blurry fly poster board. Yeah. And it's like, oh, we are not at the same level anymore.
Yeah, and speaking of Greek tragedies and wanting to stay true to the original source material, why did they not cast a real fly man for this film?
Right. Well, Hollywood wasn't woke yet, you know.
Right. Yeah.
The woke mind virus hadn't gotten to them.
Right. See, I think that they were just going for awards with this one, all that kind of stuff.
Now we have fly men playing Odysseus. Like what a terrible terrible world we have.
Right. But yeah, I do like the beginning of this film, though. Well, I mean, I had fun with this one overall. But I do like the beginning of this one because while I like the ending of the last one, I like it because it makes me laugh, not because I think it's a good ending. More of like everything's going to be all right. Your father was an explorer in the outer realms of thought. And now we're just going to walk off and go get you some ice cream. Yeah. You know, this one opens with your mom's dead.
Your mom dies. Like in between Devon Sawa getting hit by a brick and Alice Hardy getting murdered at the beginning of Friday the 13th, Part 2 lies Helene Delambra. Right. Because she is killed off screen, but she dies due to madness and a broken heart.
Yes.
That for all her being okay at the end of it, that was just a smile plastered on her face. And inside she was crumbling because the love of her life got turned into a fly.
Right. Well, maybe she was just putting on a good face for the kid in that moment. So right off the bat, I did think it was funny / awesome that's how they were starting this movie off with like a little bit of, oh yeah, the ending of the last movie does have weight behind it now.
Yeah. Yeah. That we're still connecting this together. This will all tie together, but she's gone and we get a lot of last time on.
Yeah. The first 15 minutes of this movie is
like all done mainly through exposition and also introducing new characters that weren't in the last one, like Inspector Beecham, played by John Sutton, because they couldn't get Inspector Charas. That actor was not available due to illness, but other people are like, due to you need to give me money.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen.
That illness too.
Yeah. So instead, join our Patreon. So instead we get this kind of awkward this awkward thing about like, oh, this Inspector Beecham, even though we didn't see him, he was such a good help for the family during all this. And we also learn that there's still questions about the murder because they are accosted at the funeral by a muckraking journalist.
Love it.
Who his concerns are so funny because he says,
first it was called murder. Then it was called suicide. First Helene Delambra was held. Then she was released. All very odd.
Oh, what? So she was presumed guilty and then they found out she was innocent and then she's innocent?
Yeah.
What's the deal? Ooh, a lot of questions there.
That doesn't make for a good story. You know, there must be more. So yeah, in the back of a car, Vincent Price tells Phillipe, who is now all grown up.
Yes.
He doesn't know anything about his father. He's grown up though. But for some reason, Vincent Price has waited until just this moment to tell him what became of his father.
If I tell you, Phillipe, it will haunt you for the rest of your life.
It's too terrifying and too haunting, he says. And yes, they've kept this a secret from him. Phillipe Delambra, it's now 15 years later, which would actually put it in the 70s, but it doesn't matter. It is soap opera aging where it's just the time is the same and he's just older now, and played by Brett Halsey, who was a kind of a teen heartthrob at the time in a lot of juvenile delinquent movies.
Ooh, yeah.
Has had a long career, did the thing like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he went to Italy for a while and was in a bunch of films over there, including some Westerns. And I know he's in a later Fulci movie, Demonia.
Oh, cool.
And speaking of soap operas, was the original John Abbott in The Young and the Restless.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
So another Young and the Restless connection.
Ah, father of Jack Abbott, or
father of Jack Abbott. He was the second guy to play John Abbott. And then the main guy known for being John Abbott was after him. Who they killed that. I love it because if you read about the character, it's like he dies, but then he kept showing up in hallucinations for other characters.
Nice.
And it's like that's soap operas.
Exactly. I bet he shared some screen time with Victor from Young and the Restless.
One would hope.
Yeah,
one would
I would hope so. So Phillipe is interested in his father's work, and he's so interested that, you know, the story relies on the fact that he's already dabbled in some of this, which I think is funny too, that Vincent Price, this is news to him over the last 15 years. Oh, you've also been dabbling in transportation technology? Love it.
Yeah. I like they don't really have a word for teleportation or transportation.
Yes.
They just keep calling it disintegration integration.
Right.
Which is really just does not trip off the tongue very well.
Totally. Yeah. Being a gigantic fan of the Cure album Disintegration. Every time they would talk about that, I would just be like, oh, so you want me to sit in a tube and listen to one of my favorite records of all time?
To the Cure?
Sure.
Yeah. It's a scientific process to make him more goth.
Right. Yes. When you come out the other side, you'll be more sad.
Mm-hmm. We'll make an army of Eeyores.
Right. Done and done.
Yeah. With face paint on.
Right. So he and his friend and colleague, a guy by the name of Alan, they want to resume the work, but they want to leave Montreal. And what I liked about this is like, I kind of don't know where they ended up. And I don't know why they had to leave Montreal, because the place they get is in no real difference than Montreal at the time, but whatever. They go to another big fancy house. Whose house is this? Did I just miss this?
I think it was just, it was just a place. I don't think
a big old house that they had access to with a housekeeper and an attractive young woman that lives there. He's already dating, I think.
Right. Yeah. No, they go way back. Yeah. Him and his love interest, Cecile Bernard, played by Danielle Demitz.
Sounds French.
They were already together. They grew up together. And in fact, I guess there were several scenes with her and Vincent Price that got cut.
Ah, okay.
In explaining where his father's demise, what happened to his dad, they go to the factory, although the lab was in the basement of the house. But
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, I don't care. It's fine. Whatever. But so they go there, and the night watchman, who's supposed to be the same character, different actor, shows up and is all upset that someone's there. And Vincent Price is like,
please, I beg of you, do not go in.
All right. Thank you for warning us. Now, we won't be long. Go about your work. Poor old fellow. Disturbs him when anyone comes here. He remembers too much. Maybe
don't have him work there?
Yeah.
This seems like very, very difficult for this man. But Vincent Price is like, look, I hate this guy. Right. And I do want to psychologically torture him. I don't want to see it happen.
Yeah.
You know, I want to torture him from far away. But yeah, they go through and look at all the old sets from the previous one and all the devastation that's caused. And he sees all that and goes, well, I'm sure I can do better.
Yeah.
I bet I can do a better job than my dumb old dad.
Hubris. Again. They settle in for tea later on, and a fly buzzes around, and it really upsets him. So we get this idea here that he has, I was going to say an irrational fear of flies, but I feel like it's pretty rational at this point for him.
In theory, if he actually knew what was going on the whole time, but it's irrational in that his reaction is pretty strong. Because he just hears a fly and he just he's back in Da Nang. He just has a flashback.
Yeah.
And is just incapable of doing anything else, which seems like it would make your life very hard.
Yeah.
Because I've encountered a lot of flies in my life, but then it makes me wonder, am I just Pigpen? Is the problem me?
They're just all around. What are those guys doing around you right now?
Every grown up, I never bathe. I just sort of go where I want to go, whether or not I'm wearing pants or not. And there's a whole bunch of flies around me. So I think this guy, being another normal person, probably has a similar issue.
Mm-hmm. You can tell. And that's why he gets the ladies
that's why. That's absolutely just
So later on, his buddy Alan, he says that he doesn't feel the need for a salary. So there's some business, not shenanigans going on, but the idea is that Phillipe is going to hire his buddy Alan. They're going to work on this project together. Alan is forgoing his salary because they're going to be rich in the future when they solve all this.
You've been paying me for 3 weeks now, and I haven't spent a dime. There's been no need to. The food and lodging here are wonderful. So forget about the salary. Pay me when your gadget's a whopping success, which I'm sure it will be.
Vincent Price stops by, and Phillipe wants to sell half of his business interests so that he can put all the money towards the experiments. But Price says, slow down, Hoss. We can't do that. For the love of the family.
Oddly enough, making a child half owner of a business backfired. Unexpected. It didn't go well for Vincent Price. And so Vincent Price acquiesces and it's fine, if you're threatening to destroy this company, unless I let you do this, I'll let you do it, but I'm going to help.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember the first movie, Vincent Price, not a scientist.
Right.
So it's just look, I'm going to be a problem.
Yes.
I'm going to show up and pretend I know what I'm doing because I have money. For those of you interested in the makings of movies, movie magic, that role is called a producer.
Yes, there you go. Alan goes to a friend of his. This is Max, who is like a gangster coffin salesman, gangster coroner.
He's a gangster / mortician because they're going into the city to do some business.
Badass.
It's awesome on a couple of levels because they go into town to do some business, and Alan is like, "Hey, drop me off. I got some business to take care of, just some banking stuff, nothing too exciting." After he gets dropped off, absconds to go meet with this big bad guy, Max Berthold, played by Dan Seymour. There's a bunch of coffins, and then there's a back room where he's sitting like dressed as a gangster, like big, like suit, giant lapels, big flower, having a fancy dinner.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a front, but later you find out, no, he works there. Just love of the game, I guess. But it's also a good chance for me, like, well, it's horror. That way we can show some coffins. And then later he's about to do a dead body thing. So that, an examination or prepping for burial. So we can just have a dead body out there. He says, isn't that spooky? Booga, booga, booga.
Totally.
Yeah. Alan, the mask is off. Alan is actually Ronald Holmes, and he's conning Phillipe because he's going to sell the invention to make money off the invention he was going to make money on.
Yeah.
I've been working for Delorme Frere.
Oh, the new radar for the Canadian Air Force. Might be valuable.
Max, this is no radar. It's something really fantastic, and I'm in a great spot to steal it.
Go ahead and steal it. Why come to me?
I need someone to sell it for me. I'll nab the drawings and specifications. You sell them.
Ronnie, you double-cross your own mother.
So would you.
So if he would have just stuck by his buddy, he would have probably made a mint later on. But I guess you just you say, hey, this probably won't work, but I'll sell it to some other rube who might pay me now, and not work.
Yeah, that I will send you some things that look like it's real. Like the old what's the thing I'm thinking about? AI. Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's like that.
Yes.
Or anything Elon Musk does.
Right.
But he is this big nefarious guy now, and the whole time he's like, there's a cane nearby. And he's very gesturing with this wolf-headed cane, which I guess has a tie to a Wolfman, a Universal Wolfman movie.
Yes.
It was a prop from that.
Right.
But it got me thinking, because this is apparently Max's cane, because he didn't come in with one. Has that ever been cool?
A cane?
It's like a wolf. Yeah, wolf-headed cane. Is a cool guy ever own that? Because I think about who would own a wolf cane now. And it's either some guy in a Utilikilt in Birkenstocks reading a book called The Dragon's Lordship Cycle, Book 3, Throne of the Elf Dwarf.
Right.
Or some pickup artist in some guy that's dressed like Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I think canes become cool if you're 65 or over. If you feel I don't know, there's something older, gentlemanly about using a cane, but it always looks stupid if you're young. Trying to use it. I mean, unless you genuinely need it, it's fine. There you go. We need to be careful about that.
Yeah, I am talking about a cane as an affectation, not no, I need to walk. Yeah.
Right. Yes. Cane is an affectation up there with a jaunty pipe.
Yeah. Now that being said, you could still need a cane and have the cane of a dickhead. Yeah, that is still possible. Right. That is the spirit of equality.
Yes. Yeah. This gangster is going to find a buyer. He's the hookup.
We talked about last time how the Fly kind of eschews a lot of the teen horror that was going on at the time. A lot of the science gone wild. We're going to make a big monster that walks over everything. Atomic nightmares. That although this goes back to that, it doesn't tap into the fears of it's the Ruskies are going to get it. He's going to sell to the foreign aid, to our enemies, but it still has that xenophobia of, this guy's British, and you notice how he's not American.
Totally. Yeah.
So it has a lighter touch with that than one would expect from a movie at this time. But it's also kind of surprising that they didn't try to wrap that up in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to the lab. They do their first transportation experimentation. And they do an ashtray, just like in the first movie.
Ceremonial ashtray.
Yeah. Comes back, no words upside down or anything like that. Just fine.
The transportation, boy, it lacks something when it's not in color.
Yeah.
It's just a bright light and a Japanese noise album. It's just the sound of a modem connecting, and we're that's impressive. They didn't have dial-up in 1950s.
That's
they were
true.
still DSL.
They didn't have any of those cool lights here, anything like that.
Yeah, they just had a spotlight that you turned on and made really bright and made the movie hard to listen to.
I think that they kind of confused their rodents a little bit, or maybe I confused their rodents, because they go guinea pig, rabbit, and then another guinea pig, I think. Or maybe they're just calling rabbits guinea pigs or something like that.
There are a couple of guinea pigs.
Okay.
We get this montage of them, Vincent Price and the two of them, like, oh, we're working in the lab and we're making stuff. Oh, we keep transporting this guinea pig and it gets gigantism. So we've transported it, but even more so.
Yeah.
Like it's big.
Mhm.
And so rather than going, that would be extremely useful.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't know, like if you eat the meat from a cow with gigantism, if that does something to you or something, but like, what a tomato, make a giant tomato.
I was just going to say tomato. I think we were both thinking of Lisa Simpson's tomato project.
I am always thinking of Lisa Simpson's tomato project.
Yes.
But they're like, nah, that can't be. We can't be having giant guinea pigs. So we got to figure out a way to dial down the comeback bigness. They apparently get that. Then they move on to, well, what we're going to do is we're going to transport the guinea pig and then just let him hang out in wherever for a while.
Yeah.
You remember how my dad did that with a cat and we never got the cat back, and it's creepy and disturbing to think about? Well, we're going to do it, but on purpose with a guinea pig, and then we'll bring it back.
In none of his experiments did he record any ill effects from the delayed reintegration. We'll bring him back tomorrow morning about 10.
All right, I'll make it a point to be back here then.
I do enjoy this concept in like a haunting, kind of quality, especially later on, but we'll get to it. But like, they are specific to talk about disintegration, and then we will like delay and then reintegrate. And I think that's fun.
It's a very neat idea, but it's a little bit cart before the horse for me, where it's like, why don't you just get the disintegration, reintegration down, and then we can worry about the length and playing with that later. But hey, I'm not a scientist.
Right. Again, Alan smashes a fly and presents it to Phillipe, and Phillipe does not take it well.
Sorry, old man, really I am. Yeah. What is it? Why do those nasty little roots bother you? I'm your friend, you can tell me.
If you are my friend, don't ever do that again.
Certainly not, I won't.
Now he just feels like he's antagonizing him, which makes sense now that we know that Alan's double-crossing him.
Yeah, he's learned a little something about Phillipe he can use against him.
Yes. That night, Alan sneaks into the lab and takes photos of the research. I thought this was strange, but the police officer comes to try to arrest him. He gets the drop on the cop, knocks him out, and drags him into the disintegrator. This is again where, like, I keep thinking that the lab is in the basement, like in the previous film, but no, it's actually in this other kind of location where I guess cops can just wander into.
I mean, it still is, because it affects the people upstairs, but the cop, Inspector Evans, apparently has been following him from England, I guess.
I think so. Yeah.
When Alan / Ronald reveals his true face, that he is really wanted in England for murder, among other things.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, this inspector conveniently gets the drop on him. No need for warrants or anything like that.
No.
Well, I mean, they're in Montreal or somewhere. We don't know if warrants exist where they are.
It's not in America where we have real justice system.
It works perfectly.
Law enforcement cannot enter your, domicile without a warrant, especially in Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah. He gets the drop on Inspector Evans, shoots him.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh no, now he's got a body to get rid of.
Yes.
What better place to hide a body than nowhere?
It's kind of great. It's kind of like the portable hole from Looney Tunes. Like, I'm just going to shove this into the disintegrator and I don't have to deal with this.
Right. Problem is that disintegrator is full of guinea pig.
Yeah, that's true. Phillipe wanders down, finds him in the basement. Alan stops him from testing out the machine because Phillipe gets up in the middle of the night, and as you do, just kind of wants to tinker with those machines and reintegrate various guinea pigs.
To surprise the inspector, to get the drop of the inspector, he kicks his chair back into the machine, into some lab equipment, and the metal on the chair catches with a power thing and creates a big flare, which surprises the inspector, also causes the lights to dim. And when Phillipe confronts him about it, he's like, I just screwed up. I got excited to do some work. Don't worry about me. I am not double crossing you.
Alan then calls up Max and And I guess this is where Max is working on a body. And yeah, not eating a sandwich.
Not eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's how you know he's nefarious.
You're right. Could have had this big old French hoagie or something like that.
Mhm.
Or a baguette, I guess.
Yeah, we're just like, I mean, he's a fancy guy, so maybe he had it on under one of those serviette
Yes, there
things,
you
like
go.
the big.
A cake saver.
Could be in a cake saver.
Like Twin Peaks, if you're following along on Patreon.
Well, his cake saver is probably full of safety deposit keys.
That's true.
If he uses it like most people.
Yes. They set up a meeting, and in the meantime, Alan has reintegrated the cop, but he appears with guinea pig hands. And in the other chamber, there is a little guinea pig with man hands. And
tiny
I
little man
loved
hands.
this.
Yeah, it was pretty good because it's just like stretching out the hands. Like, hey, this is pretty cool. I got thumbs now.
Yeah.
It's kind of adorable.
It's
Put a little hard hat on him and get him with a little hammer.
Oh,
Come on.
God.
Little lasso cowboy hat.
what you're saying is put the guinea pigs to work.
Yes.
Yes.
You've made a mistake. It's like guinea pigs are this guy's Viagra. He wanted to make a heart medicine, but then made Viagra, whereas this guy wanted to transport stuff, and then he just made an adorable guinea pig. It's like slightly unsettling, but you cover up for that with the accessories.
Yeah, right. I mean, yes, it is adorable. It's also a little bit unsettling and uncanny, like in a legitimate way. Like they did a good job with this effect. It made me laugh, but it is still kind of creepy.
And then what happens next? I think it was in Britain, they made them cut this scene out, which makes sense because Ronald is like, well, I can't have this thing around. And so he just starts to slowly press down on it with his foot. And you hear the thing screaming, very upsetting. But also you see the hands underneath, and the hands are so much larger in this shot.
They are, yeah.
Which would be really funny if they were regular man hands on the guinea pig.
Absolutely.
That might actually be cuter. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then he's like, well, what am I doing? I'm just going to crush it with a piece of machinery, and kills it. And then, but he's still got this full size man. He can't step on him and make him go away. So yeah, he calls up Max to like, hey, meet me at a place where I'm not going to do anything illegal.
Yes.
They get together and he dumps the body.
Dumps the body. And the body, let's not forget, it has a couple of guinea pig feet as hands. So in his front two hands have been turned into guinea pig paws.
It's always like, and that's interesting, like for how this process works, that it tends to affect the hands first, because this keeps happening where people's hands get swapped.
Yeah.
But they, so he's got to get rid of the evidence. So he puts them in a car, drives it off a cliff.
Also exchanges the film. Max is going to go look for a deal from a buyer.
Well, Max, any interest in our proposition?
Interest? Yes, indeed. I got in touch with the 4 biggest concerns. 2 of them are ready to do business. All they ask is an indication that we've really got it.
Well, here's your indication. Just enough to show them we're on the right track. Not enough to give away the whole idea.
Phillipe then confronts Alan in the lab about where he's been lately, and there's a lot of cars coming and going. So there's this like ridiculous scene of Alan just trying to be like, oh, I heard a car outside. Well, the maid heard a car, and that was 2 hours ago. And so they had this like kind of back and forth.
Yes, it's almost like this Poirot locked room mystery of like, but the car was at 11:45.
Yeah, exactly. Phillipe sees bloodstains, and then Alan confesses to killing the guinea pig, but says that it tried to bite him before the attack. And so we get down to this, like, I need to see the bite. It's a little tedious, frankly.
Yeah, like him uncovering Alan's ruse, goes on a bit. But I did like how it was framed. I wondered if they were going to keep it this way. When you just see Alan's back, the camera's kind of behind Alan, and you see his back in front of the teleporter. And you see Phillipe gesturing. He's like, that's blood. And you don't see it because it's covered up by Alan, which kind of works. Alan covering up the crime.
Sure.
But then I was wondering if that was also just like a studio thing of like, we can't show blood. We can't show a puddle of blood.
Yeah, that's probably
I don't know if that's true or not, but it ended up working out pretty well. And I think you end up seeing it later.
Yeah.
And so Alan, his ruse falling apart, pulls a gun on Phillipe. I was like, nuts to this.
There's a fist fight. Alan puts a knocked out Phillipe in the disintegrator. And then this is just kind of a dick move. He just sees a fly laying around and just tosses it in the machine.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that, Alan. That was just mean.
Just to be mean. It's like, does Alan know Philippe's father's backstory or anything like that? He must.
He would have to. I mean, they know they're working off of the journals of his dad. I'm sure it came up like, why? What happened to your dad doing all this? Nothing. It was fine.
Totally.
He died from being too okay and nothing went wrong. But Yeah, so he's just like, well, screw you. I guess I've got all the information I need. I don't need your stupid teleporter. This works enough. Enjoy being a fly.
Vincent Price arrives just in time to see Alan drive off, but Alan shoots Vincent Price in the gut. The police arrive while Price is downstairs in the basement. There is a reintegration, of course, and Phillipe reintegrates with a fly's head and hand. The young woman screams in a very classic 1950s style. Price is so bereft that he just kind of falls to his knees.
Yeah, you get a little a scene earlier of them patching his wounds. Where you get to see some Vincent Price nipple, but only one because he's classy.
Right.
But what do you think of the fly makeup in this one?
Well, it's bigger.
It is bigger.
Yeah. So I don't know. I kind of enjoy that they went bigger and bolder, and they had, if I had to guess, they created a new fly head, but it just turned out a little bit bigger. And then they were just like, well, shit, this is so much bigger, and we need to explain this away through, gigantism.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like they kind of reverse engineered the script for that.
I think that is absolutely correct, that they're like, well, let's throw that thing in there because for whatever reason, they didn't have the original prop. And frankly, like, I'm okay with it being a little bit different because it'd be, it's the same thing again. So being slightly different is good, but I think it's a little bit too gigantic. And then like his proboscis is just kind of looks like a sex toy, if I'm being honest. It's it's kind of outsized for his body. It becomes unwieldy in later scenes. You can see there's a scene where he's running through the woods and you can tell like a branch hits it and then he reaches up and like adjusts the mask.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The best take we had, I guess.
Yes. But it was also a case of they hired an old circus performer who was like 7 feet tall to play the Flyman version here to try to make it look so like when he was attacking somebody, it wasn't just like a little guy with a big fly head. It would at least be, well, we've got this giant ass fly head now. We got to put a bigger man in it to make it look like, make the fly look like he was towering over the person.
Right. But in that wood scene I'm talking about, they were worried about him running with the mask on because being 7 feet tall, your heart kind of sucks.
Yes,
it doesn't work that well. So they hired a regular sized guy named Joe Becker to run through just like you're our wood fly. Come do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I like the idea of like that gigantism and becoming a little bit more monstrous.
Sure.
I was fine with that, but I just think, that makeup or the mask, or whatever, was a little bit too unwieldy.
Totally. The cops do end up chasing Phillipe outside, and I think that's where the wood scene is, where it's got him. And
I think they chase him into daytime.
Yeah,
I think
they did. Yeah,
because I couldn't tell if there was a time lapse from the time that Vincent Price got shot, like now it's daytime, but it seems like he escapes at night and runs into some, not even like day for night, like it is daytime.
It is day. Yeah.
They also in dealing with the aftermath of this. The inspector, or a different inspector, the cop, Beecham. Oh, here's a sound in the lab.
Help me! Help me!
And we see, and I actually like this at first. We hear a like, help me, and it is a fly with the head of Brett Halsey, with Philippe Delambra's head.
So good.
But it's like a little like action man head, a little action figure head on the body of a fly. No hand, just the head.
Yeah.
And that initial shot of it was like the little miniature is a little off-putting. It's a little like, it's kind of ridiculous. I found it somewhat effective, but then when it eventually is just his head superimposed over a still a fly, and it's a little less so.
Right.
Not as, because it's also like he's still a hunky human face. He's not the weird twisted thing that his father became.
Right. Vincent Price is recovering in bed. Cops want to talk to him. So we find out that the cops have shot at and like pursued the flyman, keeps fleeing. At this point, Price brings up the theme from the previous film of like, well, if you kill him now, are you not a murderer? So he's still harping on that 15 years later.
Yeah. Hey, you got an ace that strong, you play it. Like that's your move. Which is also just nice because the rest of the time he's like, oh, I couldn't possibly tell you this secret.
Yeah,
this grand secret that I have. You must not know my terrible secret, which is terrible and a secret. And I cannot tell you my terrible secret.
The integrator cabinet has been destroyed. And he reminds the cops that not only do they have to capture Phillipe, but they also have to find the little fly with the Phillipe head. So he's bringing this full circle, being like, it's not enough just to capture him. We need to reintegrate, which means we got to find a little tiny fly, just like last time.
And they don't go into it, but it kind of makes you wonder, because they really eschew a lot of the change aspect from it, like sort of the what that all means, because there's never a discussion of like, is he more fly now than man? These thoughts in my head are going wild. So it makes you wonder if the fly, because he can still has the power of speech and all that. If the Phillipe as the little fly guy is like, look, I know what happened with my dad. I'm going to hang around the lab.
Totally.
Because first of all, spider webs.
That's yes.
And also then if I'll wait here. Then if they need me, they can come get me. But
smart.
But the other half, Phillipe, is like, no, I got to get out of here. And I have to go seek vengeance against people that I've never met and don't know exist.
Totally.
But I also have their address somehow.
Right. Then we get a pretty fun scene next where there's a slow buildup of Max walking around his office for a while till Phillipe the Flyman does jump out. But we hear like a scraping shuffle sound.
Yeah.
And we find out that not only is it now just fly hands, but one fly foot.
One fly foot.
Which is fun.
Yeah. And that sound is creepy. And like just him walking around, and yeah, I enjoyed the sound there.
Chases him into his coroner's lab and then just, I guess, strangles him. This is a common way of dispatching with people in these types of movies, where there's a struggle of some sort and then the victim just sort of dies.
Right. You can't get that gory with it. So it's either just like a single blow or, a kind of
strangulation,
choking, shaking. Yeah. Which that approach is very funny because it kind of cuts to not quite the point of view of the fly, but it's like up and pointing down at Max and approaching him. And he's kind of just expressionless. And then, oh, you're going to murder me. Like, I'm fine with the fly guy coming at me, but I just realized his murderous intent.
Totally.
But it very much felt, rather than a building, or it just felt like you started rolling before you said action.
Sure. Cop catches the fly. He says it seems feeble, and they kind of discuss like, well, how long does a fly live?
Musca domestica, common house fly. Lifespan about 3 weeks. But they die very quickly when it's cold.
I'll see that the laboratory is kept warm.
Good question in this quest here. 3 weeks usually, which I didn't really know. I guess that makes sense. Or the fly can die very quickly in the cold. And to me, I was just like, oh, that's a clue for later. Nah.
Right. No, just a fun little fact.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, are we going to have to save him from the cold or something like that?
Yeah. Just what they did is they predicted podcasts and YouTubers.
Yes.
In 60 years, whatever, going, actually, flies live shorter when it's cold out, and they don't bring that up.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say what time of year it is.
Yeah.
This movie is garbage.
So, can't take it seriously. Vincent Price is still in bed at this point, too. This was another one of those, like, God, poor guy. Is he going to get to do anything? Alan discovers Max's body, but then is grabbed by Phillipe. This is another tussle, but now I feel like we're supposed to be a little bit more emotional about it, because this is Phillipe the Flyman killing his buddy.
Yeah.
Because kind of like what you were saying earlier, ooh, we've got caskets. Isn't that scary? He just puts Alan's body in a casket.
Just drops him in a casket. It's just no muss, no fuss. Yeah. Self-disposing criminals. It's great.
But there is a point, like, did I read this correctly? Cops arrive and Alan is still alive and tries to get out of the casket? Or is that just like the actor's just futzing around in the casket and they were rolling a little bit? It looked to me like his arm was moving or something.
Yeah, no, I think he's supposed to be dead.
Okay.
No, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead.
I thought that, and maybe I was misseeing this, but I thought that the arm moved just a little bit, and I thought it was either funny or something was going to happen later on and he was going to come back or something like that. But regardless, we do get one of my favorite lines in the next scene, which is I believe the cops are back in the lab and there is discussion about what we're going to do, because
Suppose he does come here. And suppose he's not like Andre. When this same ghastly thing happened to my brother, he still had a human mind and a human conscience. What if Phillipe does not have the mind of a human, but the murderous brain of the fly?
And so I don't know about you, but when I see flies running around, I'm more annoyed or something.
Yeah.
I'm not fearing for my life because in the grand scale of, like nature documentaries and stuff like that, we never hear about the stalking and murderous nature of a fly from David Attenborough,
Well, this was this particular one, I guess. This was, you could tell he had a little scar over one eye and some prison tattoos. I mean, really in an ideal world, he would have merged with just like an insurance fraud fly.
Ah, yes. Right.
Something a little bit less terrible. Something, hey, strike back at the system.
Yeah.
Fly.
Yeah. He just sits around all day online. The fly is now headed to his girlfriend's room. And this is where they try to get a little bit of that emotional kind of Beauty and the Beast pathos that maybe the first movie was better at.
Mm-hmm.
But he just sort of like crawls towards her. It almost looks like he's dying, almost like we're at that 3-week point somehow that they were saying. But he just grabs her hand and kind of falls over.
Yeah, I don't think he got shot or anything. He's just like, I'm tired. I've been up all night murdering
with my murderous fly brain.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad it was until I stopped. I was going, but as soon as I stopped, I was out.
Yes. Vincent Price finally gets out of bed and then meets everybody down in the lab. And now it is time to reintegrate Phillipe. So instead of the horrors of the previous film, we're just going to put them back together and it works fine.
Yeah, we just press the button that says reverse.
Yeah.
It says undo.
Reintegrate.
Yeah.
There is this funny bit because it's like, it shows a 2-shot of Phillipe and his girlfriend kissing and they're so happy together. And then it shows Vincent Price and the inspector. And I thought they were going to kiss in that moment
just
too.
Like, finally.
Yes. But no, they just kind of like grin at each other. And then there's a close up on a little tiny fly. And then the end.
Yeah, like the Vincent Price is like staring at, like, is he affected by seeing flies now?
Yeah.
It's a cliffhanger that's not really a cliffhanger. It's like, be careful, flies are still out there.
Right.
Like, yes, obviously. But unless it's like, well, now the fly knows too much and he could reveal all our secrets.
Right.
We have to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's uncertain what they were trying to go for with that final shot. Like, was it trying to give a think about it, won't you? Or was it just a fly?
Yeah, I think it's just this like, hey, this isn't over. This fly could be in the theater right now.
Right.
Yeah. And this thing was a double bill when it finally was released. It played with a co-bill with the Alligator People.
Fantastic.
About a guy who transforms into an alligator.
Maybe we got our Patreon pick for the year or for the for the month. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's honor the few dead in this movie. Inspector Evans, played by Pat O'Hara, disintegrated and reintegrated with guinea pig hands. Max Barthold, played by Dan Seymour, strangled by Phillipe the Fly. Alan Hines, played by David Frankham, strangled by Phillipe the Fly. So yeah, this was perfectly fun. It dragged a little here and there, but that's kind of the nature of these movies, even if it was only an hour and 20 minutes. But I missed the kind of the dark thoughts that are in the first movie, the ideas that the first movie kind of posed. It was
a deeper movie. This is just a creature feature that takes a long time to get there, and is also about evil British men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine, but you can totally tell that this is just a like, let's just try to cash in, and I don't want to give this a lot of thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. So not bad, but as with the nature of this show, I'm glad to have seen it. I don't know when I will go back to Return of the Fly. Although we would be remiss if we don't bring up the Danzig song, Return of the Fly.
Right.
So,
yes. Well, the Misfits, technically.
That's true. Yes. The Misfits song, Return of the Fly. It's like, what, a minute 43 or something like that. And they basically just talk about what's going on in the fly. Return of the Fly. It's fine.
You get it.
Mhm.
Yeah. You could probably just listen to the song. It's fine.
Right.
No, but yeah, it's designed to be, I mean, it is what it's designed to be. It's just hey, teens, go watch this movie and at a drive-in. And I don't know. It's nothing special.
Right.
It's not awful, but it's there.
Yeah.
It was, when it opened up, it was one of 4 films that Vincent Price was in at the time.
Wow. How cool.
Among them, House of Haunted Hill and The Tingler.
Ah, yes. A favorite.
The Tingler is great. Another William Castle special.
Experience.
They would wire up the movie seats and to shock you or vibrate, and that was the Tingler coming to get you.
So good.
So this didn't get the kind of press that those other things did. It was just like, here you go. This is out there too.
I watched this on a Saturday afternoon when it was like brutally hot outside, and I just thought I'll throw on the Return of the Fly, and that felt right, just to kind of lay on the couch and just watch an old creature feature on a Saturday afternoon, and it was fine.
Yeah, it's those kind of Svengoolie kind of Elvira movies. Perfect. Classic monster movie. But, well, not classic, but one of those classic monster movie knockoffs.
Right. So we got one more of these older guys. So the next movie is The Curse of the Fly from 1965. So they waited 6 years. To tackle the next one. So
I'm sure a lot of thought went into that, and not just, hey, could we still make some money from this?
Yeah. So you didn't call the last one Son of the Fly, which you could have.
You could have, yeah.
But I have no idea where they're going. I've never seen Curse of the Fly. I had never seen Return of the Fly, so I don't know what the conceit is, or if it's even going to be serialized. Is it going to be Vincent Price now? That would rule.
Yeah, it's Phillipe being like, oh, you know what, I'm going to try this again.
Yeah.
or is it his kid, the third Delambra?
Exactly.
But now that you mention it, why is it called Return of the Fly? Because it's not the same fly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the same fly guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what it is, but it ends with the Return of the Fly to being itself and not being
right. That's true. They make you wait the whole movie.
That would have read better. If the ending was he gets out of the disintegrator integrator and is like, oh, let's not do that again. And then the fly lands on his shoulder. It's like, tell me about it. Yeah. And then the movie ends.
Yes.
But they found that the audiences didn't find that very scary.
So I guess the next one, the fly puts a curse on him.
Right.
Ooh, maybe there's some weird occult magic shit in the next one too.
This is a very specific thing to happen to 2 members of a family. That's gotta fuck with the bloodline.
Yeah.
If not karmically, some kind of metaphysical thing. Look, 2 of you being flies, I can't.
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Well, I just now realized Max is out there somewhere with those specs. So there could be a perfectly decent, somebody else out there has rebuilt all the laboratory based on Philippe's research.
Or, the Curse of the Fly could also just be the result of the disintegration reintegration process where it wasn't perfect. And so that gigantism is still involved. So he's got big blood. And now
yes.
It's just living with that big blood disease. Mm-hmm. My blood is big.
And what that'll do to his kids. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And his please donate to kids with big blood.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks so much for listening. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks to see if we are correct about the big old blood disease going on in the
I'm sure we are. I'm sure they won't have another giant mask and a monster. I'm sure it'll be touching drama.
Right. Yeah, with maybe a touch of sadness here. So
sure, yes, big pathos.
Right,
that's what'll be big.
All right, everyone. We'll throw in that Curse of the Fly, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks to go over that one. And then we'll get to the Cronenberg after that. So
then it's time for some Cronenberg.
Yeah. And find us on Instagram at This May Hurt a Bit. We're always posting stuff over there. Occasionally on Blue Sky, This May Hurt a Bit pod, and you can email me at thismayhurtabitpod@gmail.com. So until then, good night.
Good night.
This has been a Caretaker Press production. It was produced by James Strayer and edited by John C. Myers. Logo by Ethan Kimberling and music by Michael Arthur Holloway, who you can find on Bandcamp. Follow us on Instagram at thismayhurtabitpod and email us at thismayhurtabitpod@gmail.com. Give us a 5-star review over on your favorite podcast app, and we'll see you next time.